It was September 5th, 2018. An indie game developer who's been making small games for quite some time sets out to make another simple project for fun. Little did he know he was creating a timeline of story with various characters which should one day lead him to making the best Roblox game. It is none other than tyridge, the creator of the Wild West. There has been severe ups and downs in the Wild West, and it is right now almost at its death state. The Wild West isn't just a game for many old players. It was a memory. Waking up early during quarantine just to check if your faction is at war with some other faction. Hanging out with people you'd probably never meet in real life just to fight together in the Wild West. The feeling of first time spawning inside of Bronze City with its iconic piano sounds could get most old players a nostalgic feeling. Some of you new gens don't understand what I'm saying right now. The feeling that us veterans have felt during the year of 2020 to 2022. You have missed it all. Why is it now that more and more people are quitting the Wild West and slowly the game is dying? It had several contributions, but three among them are more vividly visible. The first being the community. It is no surprise that Wild West has the most unique and creative community on Roblox. In what other Roblox community have you seen players leaking someone else's address just because they lost to them in a duel? You can only see that in the Wild West. Very intriguing, I must say so myself. The community had a huge hand in killing the player base. One of the secondary ones is the Wild West factions. I'll cover that in a second, but we should firstly speak about the biggest hand, the auction update. The auction update brought in a page of new content that new and old players could enjoy. It helped out the old dried out Wild West regain life, but at what cost? This update added several different items and weapons, with some exotic ones being the auction guns. The auction guns were different. The market depended and demanded on how much a player would bid for one of these exotic plastic guns. This led to them being extremely overpriced, unaffordable by many players. This also led to a rise of grinding in the Wild West. Everywhere you would see players grinding 24/7 just to try out these new guns. Some even spent weeks on weeks getting these guns. While we had one side of players, the good ones, which would spend time grinding for them. On the other side, we had dishonest players who would scam their own best friends just to get in touch with these guns. The auction update didn't bring an official trading system. Players could only drop their auction items in that time. This led to many thousands of players being scammed of their hard-earned items. I was one of the victims. I got scammed of my hard-earned Peterson and Lancaster that I spent weeks grinding for. This is one of the reasons why you'd see me always helping new and scammed players. I know the feeling they went through, and I would do anything to help them. That is one of the reasons I am most likely the only Wild West YouTuber that has given away $7 million worth of auction items to fans and random people. Enough with my story. The Wild West had its worst time of creation during the auction update. Everyone was getting scammed left and right. I know it's not possible to punish every single scammer. Finally, the developers took the final call to remove the features to even drop auction items. But by then, the damage was already gone too far. Many veteran players, after being scammed, quit the Wild West forever. Some of them did return, but most of them quit forever. The Wild West now has an official trading system, so nobody could steal/scam anyone anymore. That is why I believe the auction update scamming period had a big hand in the decline of players. It did stop after the removal of the dropping feature, but factions don't stop here. The factions probably had another big hand in many players leaving the Wild West. The toxic nature of the game could only be seen through underage kids with attitude in different colorful factions. These kids would be toxic to anyone who they kill in-game and online in different Discord servers. The toxic nature changed many players, including me. I used to be extremely toxic in 2021, but now I have lost all of my toxicness after not taking these faction kids seriously. Another reason why factions are bad is because they are questionable characters and players. We have one guy selling CP to minors online for auction guns. We have one faction being led by a doxer/exploiter, and most of their higher ranks having access to exploits. We have kids leaking other faction leaders' addresses just because their faction lost to them in a war, a plastic war. Factions may or may not have contributed much in getting players to leave in the Wild West, but the second point has. Performance is something that many Roblox games lack. Roblox isn't optimized performance-wise. It can't give us expected FPS, but no other game gives lesser FPS than the Wild West. I can run Red Dead Redemption 2, a top-rated AAA game, with mesmerizing amazing graphics in high settings 70 FPS. But whenever I come to the Wild West, the lowest possible settings and resolution, I still can't go over 25 FPS in public servers. Everyone doesn't have an amazing RTX 4090 setup with liquid cooling Core i9. They rather have a 2001 Lenovo laptop that lags to run GTA Vice City. The Wild West has become a lot more laggier than before. My friend Bones used to run Wild West in 4K, extremely high FPS, but now he can't even run it in 1080p 50 FPS. Low settings in the game. Many players can't invest thousands of dollars to play a Lego game, so they would rather quit. But even with the community, plus lack of performance, there is something that is the prime reason for Wild West dying right now. And that is updates. The prime reason on why players are quitting and leaving the Wild West is because of lack of content. Players could most likely get their favorite gun and then explore the game more. What's next though? We've been waiting for that answer since the last major controversial update, known as the auction update. It has been years since the auction update. With the lack of content, no player with the right mind and choices of various other Roblox games would stick to the game that never updates. I know the developers and staffs are giving their best in providing us the best possible experience, but the Wild West has already played its cards to get our attention back in the game. But so far it hasn't gone far. Seems like it's finally the time Wild West would rest down as a great game everyone used to love. But tyridge, the creator, has some other opinions. The progression update, tyridge has hinted several screenshots and sneak peeks about it, and it is going to be huge. Seems like the Wild West actually has one more card left, its last card in August. That could possibly be a turning point in this game. If this gets delayed again like other times, the Wild West will actually die. Hopefully that wouldn't happen and the developers would finally give us an update to enjoy. That's what I feel like. Oh, by the way, sorry for the deep, monotone voice in this video. I felt like having a more cheerful, funny voice wouldn't help much in clearing out a story about the Wild West. Dying, not uprising, it is dying. That's why I felt like a voice like that would help make this video a bit more serious than my average videos. And hopefully you would have enjoyed it. Grinding for auction guns isn't possible by everyone, so if you're looking for a loadout that is extremely cheap, click on the video on the left.